Hi everyone, Maggie here. Just wanted to show you the poppy top hack of the pattern, the poppy dress pattern that's available at Mood Fabrics. This was for the SewFrugal 2023 challenge that was in March, and I posted my response on Instagram, but this video is just kind of like showing all the details of sewing the project. I'm still working on the skirt, and I'll show you portions of that. I didn't tape as much of that, but just to give you like a few of the details. These are the sleeves. I'm happy with how they turned out. What I did different than the pattern is I used elastic in the sleeves. I just did like a elastic cuff here instead of like a attached cuff to make it a little more flexible. And then I actually attached this tie and lengthened it a little bit to the bodice of the of the shirt, instead of having it be like a separate tie, which is what they do in the pattern, and they attach it in the back. But I just went ahead and attached it to the, I didn't want to have like a lot of layers, so I made the decision to attach it to the bodice so it can just like tie up. And I did lengthen the ties a little bit because of that. All of the seams are French seams in here in this project, so there's no like loose threads or anything. I did encase I was trying to decide how to do the sleeves. I decided to just encase them in some bias binding so that it would look nice and clean on the inside, and then and these are my French seams, and for hand stitching I did hand stitch the inside of the waistband, or actually the tie band. I'll call it a tie band. And it has a sweet little neckline here, just turned under. So yeah, so that's it. We're pretty happy with it. I'm just giving this neckline a little press here before I sew it. This is the back of the dress, and it's just got a little rolled neck. So I'm using glass. I think most of these are glass pins that can take the heat of the iron. So trying to do some of my pressing before I do sewing. Yeah. Working on the dress front, giving it a good press. And then there is a self-facing on the front of this dress for both sides. That is actually, it's 2.5 inches. You fold it in a 1/2 inch, which is what I'm doing here, and then 2 inches. So once it's finished, it is a 2-inch facing. That gets sewn right into the shoulder seam. So I do have some like little snip marks here, and I think I'll put a few pins in just to make sure that it's accurate. Okay, that's 2 inches. and that'll make it easier to sew while sew. Just make sure we have 2 inches here, because of course we want the sewing to be nice and neat. Okay. All right. Inches. Good press, a little bit of steam. It's nothing, dog. It's nothing. It's just the iron. Okay. There we go. Okay. One side front completed. Yay! So this is the tie that goes on the blouse, and I'm just doing a little pressing before I sew it. It's going to be pressed a little more thoroughly, of course, later, but I think this will just make it a little easier to work with. Both of these edges here are going to go up against the blouse, except for the part that's going to be the tie. And one is going to be sewn into the front, and the other one I'm going to probably slip stitch in the back. At least that's my plan, unless I decide to do it by stitching in the ditch. We'll see when I get to it. I do like to do some hand sewing on things, just to kind of build in some hand sewing. So I can practice that skill a little bit. Okay. I find that if I can press some of the pieces before I sew them, it just makes the work a little easier at the end. So now I think I'm going to prefer to hand sew the salvaged edge. One edge is on the salvage, so I'm going to turn that up, turn that edge up 1/2 inch, because that's the seam allowance, and that's going to be hand stitch. So, and I'm just kind of winging it here with this. I don't plan to interface this because it's a tie, but for the waistband I will be, for the skirt, I will be interfacing that. Just turning this up. And I'll be sewing this other edge by my machine right onto the waist of the top. hoping that this will make it easier when I come to the sewing part. Anyway, I decided not to put a seam. I cut this on the fold so I would not have a seam. And I am glad about that. I think it'll look better that way. That's one thing that was different than the way the pattern is. The pattern has you do a seam, but I just decided to do this on the, instead of cutting this on the cross grain, I cut it on the, because the fabric's only 45 inches anyway, I cut it on the lengthwise, so I wouldn't have to put a seam in the middle of it. So yeah, all right, okie dokie, that piece is ready. Okay, so this might actually be dumb, but I am testing my systems before I actually do my sewing on my garment, and so I have two different thread colors that I'm considering using, so I'm going to try the lighter one, or I have one that's slightly darker, so we'll do some stitching and then I can make a decision. Okay. And I have a little snippet there. Oh, okay, I have to lower the presser foot to snip. Okay. Alright. It's good to check your tensions too. So, I don't know about that. Hi everyone, Maggie here. I'm working on doing my rolled neckline, and I want to try to get as close to that little edge as possible on that. I'm gonna move my foot here. I've got the pins in here, and let's see. This is really kind of delicate work, so I don't know if you can really get it on. I'm going to go really slow on it. Let's see. How fast do I have? I got to put it on the slowest possible speed there. Whoops. I'm trying to get situated here. Okay, so here we go. Rolled neck line. Go real slow. Okay, and I gotta take my pins out as I go because I do sew with pins. So trying to get as close as possible to that edge without going off of it. I know it's tedious. I have a little place where I put my pins as I go along here. This is like heirloom sewing. some aspects are very slow. Like some of the detail work, like this. And hopefully I can press it nicely and it'll look nice. I think I'll have to zoom this up. Okay. I'm sure other parts of it are gonna go quicker than this. Kind of hemming and hawing about whether I was going to do it this way. But, I think I'm going to. Whoops. Okay. It says lower the pressure foot. Okay, will do. See how that turned out. It's not bad. It's actually not bad, I think. I think it's passable. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can speed this up a little bit. Just doing that front band here. Here's the other front band that I'm doing. Okay guys, I'm working on my first French seam here, shoulder seam. So what I am doing is I have the right sides of the fabric facing, and I am sewing 1/4 of an inch. I only have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I'm sewing 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. You can see the 3/8 inch mark right there. So I'm sewing 1/4 inch away. This little thread is catching there. Okay. That's the first step. Now this little piece is kind of sticking out, so I gotta kind of go a little further in, and I want this to meet just right. Take my pin out here. I think I'm going to do a little back stitch at this edge. Okay, there we go. That's the first step. Okay, and then I have to trim this down, this mess, down about to about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm doing the second part of the French seam. Second part of the French seam here. At 1/4 of an inch. The edge is pressed. And that's my full 1/2 inch seam allowance. Well, that's better. Yeah, that's good. That, we got everything in there. Okay. Better. Better, better. Okay, doing the side seam now. Doing French seams. I just want to get started, then I can get my pin out. Okay. Doing 1/4 inch. Well, actually, I think I want to do it a little bit more this way. There we go. Okay. Take a couple of stitches. Okay. Then I can get my pin out. Okay, this isn't quite as frayed as the shoulder because it's, you know, more along the grain, and I think it's going to go a little smoother. So doing that first 1/4 inch, that's about as close as I can get, and then, of course, then I have to trim it down to as close to that seam as possible. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and then I gotta trim it. Okay, this is the French seam construction on the shirt, on the side seams, and I'm doing the 1/4 inch seam here. First, I just gonna grab the fabric. I think I'm gonna back stitch a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's see how that turned out. Sorry, I am losing some of my light. Yeah, it looks like it enclosed everything. I don't have any wispies. So, yeah, looks pretty good. So the side seam, and I think this is going to be closer to 5/8. I hope it'll fit. We'll have the proof of the pudding soon. Okay, that's a 1/4 inch, and then I have the eighth of an inch like encased there. Okay. Just double check my work. Okay. Looks good. Yep. Hi everybody. I am doing a gathering line at the bottom of the bodice because it's going to be gathered into the tie for part of it. Except for this kind of like placket area, that will not be. So I'm doing the gathering line just inside the 1/2 inch mark, which is about where that line is right there. So I'm just doing it just inside there, and I'll start gathering at the edge of the placket, but we'll just start doing that. And my stitch length is set at 3. And it has just a little bit of gathering. The front piece has more gathering than the back. Now, I wasn't sure about this, but I am going to sew right over the seam. And just as a side seam. I'm going to sew right over it. I wasn't sure, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll be gathering it and yep. Hi guys, it's me back again. I'm attaching the tie to the waistband of the dress. Part of it is sewn into the waistband. There's I put a lot of gathers in the front and less towards the back, so let's give it a go. I have it set at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Let me I'm going to back tack a little bit here, because that's that edge, and I want to make sure it catches that edge. Okay. When I deal with gathers, I actually do sew over my pins. I know they don't recommend sewing over pins, but I sew right up to them because I want my gathers to be in there nice and neat. So I do just sew right over them. And I'm sewing just to the inside, just where the stitching line will not show, the gathering line will not show, rather. And this has got a lot of gathers here. I'm just sewing right over the pins. This is the front. And there's less gathers in the back, so I'm just trying to relax as I do this. I sewed over the pin. Got a little warning. So my machine, if it touches a pin, it gives you like a little warning signal not to proceed, right? Try to sew right up to it and then take it out. Let me see if I can go over that one. Yeah. Okay. Now there's a lot here that I have to get kind of like gathered in there. So let's see. Risk it. We'll risk it. Luckily, this is not going to be a. It's going to be an enclosed seam, so I don't have to really worry about it. Okay, I'm in the clear now. Okay. Okay, yay. Now I'll have to see how that worked. Okay. Alright, I won't really know until I take the pins out and look at it. Okay, so I'm doing the tie now. The tie edge. I'm gonna back stitch here because that's the over that pin. Okay. And that's my 1/2 inch line there. One more stitch in that direction. That's a little, yeah, that's about right. Okay, I do have a pressing line here that kind of gives me a guide. It's a guide line that I pressed actually. So, and the part of this tie that fastens to the back of the shirt, I'm going to be slip stitching that. This, okay, didn't like something. Too thick, it says. Okay. Alright. I'm just sewing right up to the edge here. Okay. Alright. Doing the tie. Okie dokie. This is the gathering line of the sleeve. My 1/4" seam here for the French seams. Sleeve number 2. First seam for the sleeve. Okay. Okay. Just doing some French seams. We're doing a lot of these. I actually don't mind doing these. Kind of like doing them. I think I may start doing this more frequently because it's really not that much more time consuming. And see, they look so nice. They look so nice. That's such a beautiful finished seam there. I just gotta press it. Got a few strings, but yeah, beautiful. So, thinking on my feet, I have made an executive decision. Instead of putting the cuffs on the sleeve, I'm not going to hem it because I don't think it would look good. I'm going to just do like a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to put some elastic in it, and just make it simple, like elasticated sleeve. So I just press that under. I'm going to pin it up and sew it and put some elastic, and hopefully it won't be too poofy. Okay, so I'm doing an elastic casing for the sleeve. I'm leaving a slight opening. I'm going to use 1/2 inch elastic. I have a piece of elastic that I am recycling from another project. That I'm going to use because this is SewFrugal, right? Trying to use stuff I have in this project, nothing, new. And I actually just took apart a coat the other day, and it had some elastic in it that I'm taking out of the coat, so I can put it in this project. It's just enough to do like 2 sleeves, so I think that'll be perfect. So I'm trying to put the opening. I've got a fussy dog. I'm gonna do the opening towards the back, the back sleeve. Okay. Nice thing about putting in like elastic sleeves is you can kind of get away with a multitude of sins as far as sewing goes. Okay. It's so easy.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, it looks just like a real drill that I have too. We can drill something together later, huh? Yeah.
I like to just take my time, not rush.
What's there?
Not rush? Yeah. Okay. Is that okay? Not rush anything? Okay.
Let me see.
That way I make less mistakes. Do it that way, right? Don't rush. Okay. And then hopefully it will be pleasing to the person. Right?
Now let's see how this thing works.
Who will be wearing this? Doesn't want to have puffy sleeves. Not too puffy. Not too puffy. The dog is trying to get out of it. Right now he's being crated because there's food out. He would get in too, so. Okay. And he's getting into some of his stuff. Grandma's not going to be able to finish her project, right? Because of the doggy. Okay. There. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, now I'm setting in the sleeves here. Get up a little bit. There we go. Now for these seams, I'm doing one in one direction and one in the other as much as possible. Oops. There. For the French seam. This seam, I actually may end up serging this to clean up this edge here. Because it's too bulky to do a French seam on. It's got like a lot of gathering. And we're not doing any lining, so. So once whoop, there goes that pin. Now we're getting into the gathers, and that's going to be fun.
Oh, this is a thermometer. It helps to tell if I have a fever.
Try to make sure everything is flat.
Is 98.6
Okay.
I have a very slight fever of 99.2.
Try to give you a good view here. Oh, I'm losing all my pins. Wow. I'm just sewing right on top of the line here. Right on top of the gathering line. Let's see, maybe I can get this pin out of here before I get on it. Making sure I line this up good. It's like really gathered, so. Okay. I get my fingers right in there.
The man was acting like his normal playful self. He must
This has
have
got a
been
lot of gathers in it.
fussy head.
Oops. I don't want to catch any of this.
She had 6 kittens.
He wasn't sick. The man with the yellow hat was going to have kittens.
If you know anyone who wants a kitten,
Then I have to go back and fix any mistakes. That looks like. Okay, hopefully there won't be many.
George had the place ready.
Sometimes it works well to go fast, and then other times it's good to, you know, take your time on this. Oops, I don't want to get a pucker there. This is one of the more frustrating tasks here. It's like setting in like very gathered sleeves here.
Oh boy. Milk? George? Why are you meowing? Did I miss something? George was very happy the man with the yellow hat got
I think I maybe want to put another pin in here.
Uh-oh. Sounds like you caught my cold.
And we're watching Curious George at the same time. Get that flat.
That sounded like a chicken in trouble.
Whew. Coming around the bend. Whew. Thank.
Think of any way to
Well, it actually turned out pretty well, except for some little threads that I have here. You can see I didn't find any puckers, so looks like it went in pretty well. Yeah, I got some threads, but I'll show you what I can of the skirt project. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.